Alright guys, so today I'm going to be bringing you some King of the Hill gameplay in the classic free-for-all playlist. I'm not sure if that was its actual name. If anyone can tell me, that'd be great. But I only got to play 4 games of it. I just saw a playlist that said something along those lines. Either it was called that or is in the description, and I just dove straight in there to find out it got removed 4 games after I started playing it, which is a shame, but yeah. So this is just some King of the Hill gameplay. I did pretty well in the game, and it was quite a lot of fun, which is why I'm uploading it. I had a lot of fun in this game, didn't rage at all for all 4 games. I had a great time, which is what this commentary is going to be about really. It's going to be about free-for-all in general and the Regicide playlist, and then I'm going to speak about some Forge stuff that I just want to get off my chest, because I said I'd do that anyway in my previous commentary. I said I'd talk about Forge, so I'll do that. So I'm going to start with the classic free-for-all playlist that was introduced. I'm not sure whether it was introduced on last Monday, and removed this Monday because they're doing this thing where they test out playlists for a week to see what the population of those playlists is like, and then they'll use those numbers to see what the people want to play and then implement those playlists for longer periods, I'm guessing. Or they could just be cycling through them, so we'll end up dropping SWAT for a week and then picking it up a month later or something like that. They could cycle through in a similar way Bungie did with the maps in Community Slayer. They can cycle through the maps, see what ones the community likes and put them in. It's a similar way of going about it. Well, the classic FFA playlist, it works incredibly well in Halo 4. I had so much fun. It felt great, both Oddball and King of the Hill. I had plenty of fun in both of them, and overall the gameplay of it just felt a lot better. It felt like it was me doing what I wanted to do, and I wasn't really being assisted by the game so much with the loadouts giving me choices of perks or whatever, specializations, sorry. But yeah, something like that anyway, whatever they're called. It felt a lot more lone wolf than Regicide does as well, and in Regicide it's basically teaming up with the other guys just so you can get that king out the way, and then you'll go on to the next king. It's always felt like that. People will go for the big marker, and if they count people on the way then they might kill them, but most of the time they're just trying to make that rush for the king. But in classic free-for-all, it was a rush for the objective. You were killing people wherever, killing people on the objective, going to the objective yourself and fighting for that as well. And it just felt a lot more fun. It felt a bit more chaotic as well, and that's what I like about free-for-all. It's very unpredictable. It's a hard playlist to be good at, or do decent in at least. And that's what I've always loved about free-for-all. However, Regicide seems to take that away. It makes it into a semi-team based game, if you will. It's like all the other people trying to get to this king, and it's just, I don't like playing that way. I go into free-for-all to be a lone wolf. I don't go in there to work with other people, even if it is for my own gain. It just doesn't feel right to me as a free-for-all playlist. It's supposed to be everyone for themselves, yet Regicide creates this environment where it's not really everyone for themselves until they're the king. That's the only time it actually becomes a free-for-all for that person, but the only difference is they've got a big marker above their head and all these people trying to come at them, which is quite fun at some times, but other times, or a lot of times in my case, you just get people who constantly spam grenades. They will spawn, try and get a decent line of sight on you and just spam their nades. A common technique's literally AR rush spamming grenades as they die, just to try and pick up those 35 points that most people will have anyway as a king, because they'll have a maxed out bounty. Which leads me on to something else. The king needs to lose the bounty if he dies. I don't get why the king is going to build up this streak and keep that streak after dying. It's something that doesn't make sense to me. It's something that shouldn't happen in my opinion. I believe if the king dies, then his streak should be reset to 10 points, that is, and it's just to stop people just ploughing one guy over and over because he's gotten a bit ahead, he's got a high streak. So I don't see how it's fair that that guy then dies a number of times, goes on a death streak, yet still holds a 35-point bounty. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it just allows random people who weren't doing too well, simply because they couldn't get kills normally, just ploughing the king, and they would get all these points for just one kill. They'll get like just over 3 times as many points. It's something that doesn't make sense to me, pretty much. I've said that a lot, but you know, it really doesn't. So I think when the king dies, reset his score, so people can't just go after the same guy over and over and farm him for points until they eventually become king, and then the process repeats itself just with somebody else. Onto the classic playlist, a bit more in depth. I would like to see maybe that return full time. I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of Regicide and really want a free-for-all playlist to go in when they haven't got friends online, or they just aren't willing to play in team games or get paired with randoms, or if you like me and a few other people always get paired against decent teams or parties of people who just absolutely wreck house. I mean, earlier I searched in Capture the Flag, joined session in progress on a 4-0 game, and the people literally just carried that out for 10 minutes, spawn killing pretty much, or just absolutely owning us. We couldn't do anything. Just me and this other guy were forced to stay there simply because I don't want to quit. I haven't quit a game yet, so it's kind of my fault in a way, but it's also the other players' fault, because instead of winning and finishing that game and getting the credits, they decided that they'd rather boost their egos, which is pretty damn pathetic. And joint session just allows them to do this more efficiently. I believe it should only be in big team, because that was a playlist that was heavily affected by quitters. I mean, if you lose 2 or 3 guys in big team, it is a massive difference, and it's something that needs to be changed, definitely. I feel that a lot of people want to toggle because some people don't mind it. I think that's the best solution, but personally I'd like to see it removed from everything but big team. That's really on joining progress. It's something I don't like anyway. But back to free for all anyway. A lot of people would love this playlist because Regicide just doesn't do it for them, or at least make it so Regicide and this free for all playlist that was recently dropped is merged, maybe. So Regicide isn't an actual like game type. Well, it isn't the actual free-for-all mode of Halo 4, but it's a game type under free-for-all. So you'll just have your general free-for-all, and under that you'll have Regicide, Slayer, Oddball, King of the Hill. I think that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. That would be a great way to do it. I'd definitely enjoy that. I mean, only 4 games, and I absolutely loved that playlist, and then it disappeared. I was heartbroken. But hopefully we see a dedicated free-for-all playlist, a classic free-for-all playlist. I wouldn't mind the implementation of Regicide in there. So people who want Regicide, and if 343 aren't really confident in having 2 free-for-all playlists, then they would still get their you know, feed on that. They'll be able to play Regicide still, as well as other game types. So people who have just bought Halo 4 aren't used to Halo free-for-all, they'll get a chance to try out all these new game types in a free-for-all environment, so that would be great as well. You'd be giving the people more variety, and I guess that's what counts. Variety is the spice of life, especially when it comes to gaming. You want to see many game types so you can jump from one playlist to another if you're not really feeling that playlist at the time, and you're able to build up a favourite playlist as well because of all these different types of playlists, and it works out a lot better in my opinion anyway. Now, I'm not going to spend too long on Forge, but 2 things really that bug me. Precision forging. Seriously, come on. This should not have been cut. It should have never ever crossed anyone's mind in 343. Seriously, why was this cut? Get it back in as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Or you're going to have a lot of angry forgers on your hands. Number 2, the maps. Come on, guys. What happened here? I mean, a lot of the maps just aren't forgeable on, really. There's no There's no area where we can forge properly. We have to build around what you've given us instead of allowing us to build what we want. The best way to remedy this would be give us what we've wanted since Halo 3. A large, flat terrain. That's all we need. All we've wanted and all we ever will need, I guess. But seriously, I don't know how this opportunity to implement a nice flat terrain has been missed. It's something that boggles my mind, absolutely boggles my mind. Oh, well, a third thing as well. The magnet system is, in my opinion, a quick fix for the coordinate system. We all know that a lot of pieces do not match up in coordinates, so they've used magnets to quick fix this instead of altering the pieces so that they would line up properly in coordinates. And it's something that it seems a bit cheap, to be honest. I mean, it's helpful for new forgers, but any normal forger, especially with precision forging being removed, would have easily not needed the magnet system. And it's something that just shouldn't have been implemented, in my opinion. That time implementing that system should have gone to working on the coordinate system and working out the kinks in that with the pieces, and just implementing it a lot better than the way Reach has, because at the moment it's just Reach coordinate system with lack of precision, and that makes it a worse forge. Come on, we need to get our acts together here. We need to work this out. Hopefully we can move forwards and work on these problems and create a much better game, because quite a few people are a bit annoyed. A lot of people, including myself, are also enjoying the crap out of Halo 4. And we need to make this the best Halo we can make this. Come on, guys. Well, thanks for listening anyway. I know I've probably annoyed a few of you with a bit of a rant, but it needs to be done now or it's just going to build up and get a lot worse. Thanks for listening. Right, guys, bye.